Microsoft and number 8217's Surface Book 2 really is a beautiful beast. Using a 15-inch, 4.2-pound powerhouse like Microsoft's new Surface Book 2 takes some time getting used to. It nearly fits into my backpack, but weighs on my back. It's unwieldy to carry around the office, but has remarkable battery life. It takes up more space on my desk than my other computers, but has workstation-level power. These are the type of calculations I make as a longtime ultralight convertible user. My systems of choice typically weigh 2 pounds or less. I know that 12 and 13.5-inch Microsoft Surface Pro and Apple's MacBook, respectively, have their limits, but I love them for their combination of portability, power, and battery life. If I wanted to do more, like edit 4K video, edit high-resolution images, start doing CAD work, program, or game my neurons away, I'd consider a portable like this. The beast at rest. Image, Lance Ulanoff Mashable. The Surface Book 2 is not a reinvention of the original Surface Book. At a glance and aside from the size, it's indistinguishable from the Surface Book with performance base I have in my office. It has the same magnesium body and similarly designed keyboard and mouse. Broadly, the component design is the same. Microsoft puts the CPU in the clipboard PixelSense touchscreen and the discrete graphics in the base. You can still detach the screen with the press of a button and signature. The dynamic fulcrum hinge that connects the base and screen looks and feels unchanged. The closer I looked, though, the more I saw evidence of the 1,000-part changes Microsoft Windows device-led Panos Panay told me about in October. Many are subtle. For example, even though the keyboard is the exact same size on the Surface Book 2 15-inch, it now sits on a relatively flat plane. The channel that surrounded the original keyboard, nesting it slightly more deeply in the chassis, is gone. The new Surface Book 2 15-inch, left, next to the 13.5-inch performance base model. Image, Lance Ulanoff Mashable. The screen looks similar, but in addition to a higher resolution 3240x2160 versus 3000x2000 on the Surface Book 2 13, the frame that surrounds it is a tad sleeker. Microsoft got rid of the chamfered edge, which basically gives the clipboard a cleaner look. The front-facing camera resolution, 5MP, is unchanged, but now Microsoft hides it in the IR camera for Windows Hello facial recognition behind a darker black screen frame. Panay told me the hinge is completely redesigned, but it looks and works the same as before. Changes are only evident when you detach the screen. There's a somewhat different and slightly quieter detach click when you hit the Surface Book 2's detach button on the keyboard. And when I pulled away the 15-inch display, I noticed that, while the trio of digital connectors looked unchanged, the magnets that hold the screen in place are somewhat smaller than those on the original Surface Book. As you would expect for a workhorse laptop, even a hybrid like this, the Surface Book 2 maintains its supply of ports. There are still 2 USB 3.1 ports and an South Dakota card slot on the left side of the keyboard. The right side, though, is home to one of the most important port changes Microsoft has made in the history of the Surface brand. There's finally a USB-C port. It's there for data charging, though you can't grab just any USB charger. I tried a USB-C cable plugged into a Samsung charger and the system informed me that the computer wasn't charging and that I should use a recommended USB-C charger. No big changes to the ports on the left side. USB got upgraded from 3.0 to 3.1. Image, Lance Ulanoff Mashable. Goodbye DisplayPort. Hello USB-C. Image, Lance Ulanoff Mashable. The introduction of USB-C also means the loss of a DisplayPort. I have numerous adapters that convert. For instance, I've got a DisplayPort and HDMI to DisplayPort, but, sadly, no display adapters that terminate in USB-C. Next to that new port is Microsoft's proprietary Surface Connector Power Data Port. It connects to the same size Surface Connector plug as any other Surface device. However, The Surface Book 2 power cable is much thicker, and the power brick much larger than any Surface Book or Pro power source before it. Just something to keep in mind if you plan on doing a lot of traveling with this behemoth. Obviously, the Surface Book 2's biggest changes are the ones I can't see. My $3,299 test system is packed with 1 TB of storage and 16 GB of RAM. There are myriad tiny differences between the last Surface Book and the new model. Among them is the redesigned base vents seen here on the Surface Book 2. Image, Lance Ulanoff Mashable Surface Book with performance base vents. Image, Lance Ulanoff Mashable. Inside the Pixel Sense display is Intel's 8th generation Core i7 CPU. The fanless design means that, for many processor-intensive applications, the